Hello and welcome everyone. I hope y'all are having a great day today. In today's video, I have one absolutely zero RNG build for you guys. This build is going to be focused on being a DPS support, and it allows you to hop in between long and close range while putting an armor debuff on enemies, allowing herself and allies to absolutely destroy and shred an enemy's health bar. And also be allowed to go invisible more often than usual while looking so cool while doing so, because oh my goodness, the way Duchess dodges is just so fantastic. Also, as a quick side note, if you guys ever want a more in-depth breakdown of this build or any other build that I make sure to check out Mobileics.gg in the description or the pinned comment below. They have a variety of builds, boss guides, tier lists, and more to help you guys be able to not just properly gear up for any of these fights, but also have the perfect strategy before you even go into them. I'm partnered with them to bring you guys only the best builds possible. But without further ado, let's get right to the builds. Starting off with the Knight of the Myasma relic, you're going to be able to get this after completing the Fissure and the Fog expedition. This relic is going to allow us to switch our weapon's armament skill from Magic Dagger to Chilling Mist. And what Chilling Mist is going to allow us to do is build up Frostbite on our enemies when we hit them with our dagger. And once we proc that Frostbite, the two additional passives that we get are super powerful. The first passive allows you to go completely invisible every single time you get a Frostbite proc. And it resets each new enemy you get a Frostbite on. So technically, if you keep finding new enemies to Frostbite, you can stay invisible for a super long time. The second passive synergizes with the invisibility very well because it's going to give you an attack power bonus, and Frostbite itself makes the enemy take 20% more damage from all sources. This is going to include you and your teammates, so you just get to do a ton of damage on an enemy and make them take way more damage, and then you can slap a reprise in there and it will absolutely shred an enemy's health bar because they're going to be taking more damage. The damage is then going to get duplicated, and it just hurts so bad if you time it right. Not to mention, Restage is one of the best team abilities in the game. So by using Frostbite to help it do even more damage, you turn a great skill even better, and it just mows down enemies' health bars in the right situations as long as you time it right. For our next relic, we'll be using the Golden Dew. You can find this after progressing far enough into the Duchess Remembrance questline. And basically, the only thing that matters on this entire relic is the top passive, which is going to improve character skill attack power, and this gives Restage a 20% damage increase from what I've tested, which is absolutely insane when you combine that with the Frostbite that we do right now that takes down enemies' defense by 20%. And combining these two things, it lets you and your teammates deal so much damage that it's just ridiculous. For our final relic, we'll be using the old pocket watch. You'll be able to get this either by beating the first expedition in the game, Tricephalos, or even as a lucky drop upon failure. You'll still have a small chance of just getting it outright, which is really nice. And what this relic is going to do for us is give us 3 dexterity, and most importantly, allow us to regenerate our mana off of melee attacks, which is a nice way to give yourself a bit more mana sustain throughout the entire expedition. Even though it is a nice source of mana regen, I would still recommend stacking up on Starlight Shards, grabbing dormant powers or weapons with passes that give you mana regen throughout the expedition, and dormant powers that increase your maximum mana to help you spam out as many spells as possible, since that is going to be the main source of your damage outside of restaging your teammates' attacks. And that is pretty much going to do it in terms of the relics for Duchess. Outside of that, I do have 3 tips for you guys that I learned playing Duchess this entire time, which the 3 tips are going to be: tip number 1, her balanced stat spread of a B in dexterity and faith and an A in intelligence basically allows her to use a wide range of ranged weapons, so you'll likely be able to get your hands on a decent ranged option pretty much every run. You can get your hands on a staff, which will let you do ranged spells, a faith seal, which is just going to let you do ranged incantations, and if you can't find those, you can always just pick up a bow and you'll still have fantastic ranged options. So just if you ever want to just keep your distance from an enemy and just get safe hits, go find any ranged weapon and it'll still do relatively decent damage for you, which is great. My second tip is going to be lean into the mage playstyle more than the melee playstyle. While she is an incredible melee character and she can duck around and dodge around with probably one of the better dodges in the entire game, the downside is she is incredibly squishy. and you can occasionally just get 1 to 2 tapped, and there's no point in just losing a character with so much utility, so much support ability, and just so much damage output potential over just getting one-shotted by a boss that probably wasn't even looking at you. My final tip for you guys is about the Frostbite relic and how it's still going to be pretty useful even when you think it shouldn't be. For example, if you get the normal case scenario where you pull off the Frostbite, then your enemy's just going to get frostbitten and you'll get all the nice passive effects. But if it's an enemy like Caligo, you'll still get very nice benefits. If you happen to get frostbitten or your teammates get frostbitten, this will still make you go invisible and get an attack damage bonus, which gives you basically like a mini executor passive, which is just going to make you stronger whenever you do get status affected, which is really nice. But in the case scenario where the enemy doesn't deal frostbite and they're immune to frostbite, if you do know you're going into a boss fight like that, you can always just switch out the relic and just pick out a better one for the case scenario. And that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. As always, if you made it this deep into the video, thank you so very much, as I appreciate you being here. And if you don't mind, a like and subscribe can greatly help out the channel. But with that being said and done, who do you guys want to see next? I'm kind of excited to try out Executor, but as long as you guys make a recommendation, I'll definitely try them out next. But I hope you all have a great and awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.